Okay, I'm audible to everyone now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, like yesterday, in we have discussed what is like research, right? So we have discussed few things, and these are the slides that already we have discussed. So because we're not going into detail about those things, like when we were discussing what are the different types of research, how we do it, what is the meaning of the research, all those things we have discussed. So yesterday, definitely we have discussed about um, topic of the research. This is the first thing that we choose, and how we choose that also we have discussed. Um, so um, the first thing is start with topic as we discussed. Like there is some, if there is some question in your mind, then you start investigating that thing, and you try to like discuss it with your supervisor, your colleague, and your practical experience. Like we have discussed last day, uh, that if you are finding that the person who is intelligent but the person is not getting a good results or not performing well, so what are the reasons? That example we have taken yesterday, right? Similarly, you try to read about those things, why these people don't. Suppose this is a topic that is I'm taking as for example. So if the person is not performing well, so what are the different researches on that that you like research on different journals, online journals, and offline journals, that thing you do to get more details about that, so that you can prepare yourself and to find out where is the gap, what has been done and what is required right now to do. So all those things we try to find out during the research, after finalizing the topic, and we call it review of literature or literature review, right? So that you can get a good insight in the topic that you have chosen, and that you will do in your final year when you will be doing your dissertation, right? And then our next is novelty. So, novelty means there should be something new. अगर कुछ हो चुका है already and you are doing the same thing again, so it is not worth it to invest money and time into that, and you're because that is already known. So original investigation are one where we obtain new data or information about phenomena. We reach a conclusion and try to publish it. So we try that you will do in your final year dissertation or in your PhD. That is, as we have discussed yesterday also, that was you can say empirical research that you will do. And then review of the literature refer to using other researchers that what they have done in that area. That is what we have earlier discussed. And when we analyze that thing and prepares and do some research on that, we call it meta-analysis, as I already told you yesterday. So meta-analysis, like suppose 10 people have done the research on the same topic in different places or areas, and you are taking all those data and all those research, and you are analyzing that. Yani meta means you are analyzing the research that is already done by different people. So as I said, that usually that is done by experienced people. Then technology, लाइक ऑलरेडी हमने कल डिस्कस भी किया है इन सारी चीजों को ब्रीफली. सो डेवलप न्यू समटाइम रिसर्च रिक्वायर डेवलपिंग न्यू टूल ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन such as diagnostic tests, psychometric instruments. Suppose you want to study something like, you can say, spirituality, though there are tests. Suppose you want to study something related to personality based on Indian concepts, and then there is no tool related to that, right? So you develop that tool also. how you will assess spirituality. Suppose there is no tool related to spirituality, so you will develop the tool that we will learn how we can develop it, that we can learn in other chapter or unit. I think there is some test measurement or that is there in your syllabus, right? So that is what we can do, and we can develop like even in your PhD also. You can, if there is no tool, you can develop during your PhD, or you can take up that research also. That is another area. And otherwise other thing is like normally जो research आप करते हैं, that you already like do, that we have discussed, and you can develop the test also. That is another research thing, because that requires lot of efforts, lot of um, you can say um, efforts and data collection, analyzing that, all those things we do. Then use it, or either otherwise you can use the existing test. Suppose you want to assess the intelligence, so there is no need to develop new tests to assess the intelligence, because you already have. And developing a test is another Herculean task. Actually, it requires a lot of like time and money. So we use existing tests, and these existing tests, like you have to check their reliability and validity. So what is reliability and validity? Anyone? And I request you all, you can ask question at any point of time. Don't wait कि last में पूछेंगे, या don't hesitate to ask. Yes, someone is asking some question.
No, actually, you asked what is validity and reliability, so I was saying that.
Okay, tell
So,
me.
how much the test is valid or the technology is valid to suppose now how much it is valid to our research, that is validity.
No. You are on right track, but it is not the right definition. And what is the reliability?
How much
Reliability
we
is
can
we can
rely
depend
on
on.
that.
1 minute, Mr. Nair is, I think, is saying
Yeah,
something.
I mean, we can depend on it. How we can rely on. But
Once again, can you repeat it, because your voice is
yeah, I mean, how much we can rely on a particular topic, how much we can depend on it.
yes, you can say not topic. It is about testing we are talking about.
Yeah,
Right?
testing.
So let me we'll discuss this thing. But the validity is, suppose there is a test of intelligence. I am taking that. I am carrying forward that example only. Um, uh, so, like suppose you are saying that this test of intelligence is valid, right? So validity means the test is measuring what it meant to be, right? Suppose it is the test of intelligence, so it is measuring intelligence only. So because there are overlapping things. Suppose there is some like visio-motor coordination and all. So it is not like that intelligence is assessing only that thing. It is assessing IQ, what the concept of the IQ is, and the theory is the same thing the test is measuring. So टेस्ट वही मेजर कर रहा है जो जिसके लिए वो बना है actually, right? So that is the validity. Suppose you are going through some pathology, and the test is like meant for assessing your blood group, right? So you went there and you given your blood sample, and you want to know what is your blood group, right? So the test is assessing the blood group. So that is the validity. Suppose you are giving your blood, there are other things also. They can assess your kidney function, liver function, and other things also from doctor, and they are giving that. That is not a valid thing, right? So what the test is supposed to measure, the test is measuring the same thing. That is validity. Reliability is when we are saying ki, like we are using the test on certain person, right? And the we found that the IQ is 100. So each time when we assess that person again and again, we will get the same score. That is the reliability. If test is reliable, it is valid or not, we don't know, but it is reliable. So reliability and the validity should be good when you are using any test in your research. Or even in, because you are in MPhil clinical psychology, you people. So when you are using any test in your clinical practice, so you have to check that the test is reliable or valid or not. So reliability is when you are doing same thing again and again, you are getting the same result. Validity is it is measuring what it should measure, right? Intent to measure actually. So that is what validity is. I think this will be clear to you all, and there are certain methods to a certain that reliability and validity. And when you will check any manual of any test, you will get the reliability, validity, and the norms. So other thing I will talk about, I think that is not given here, but the norms. Can anybody tell me what is norms? Because I know you have done like MA psychology, so we all read these things in our PG also. So can anybody give me any idea about what is norms?
Norms basically sir standard कि मतलब on that standard we can comparison और उसके according हम देख सके. For example अगर हमारा कोई intelligence test है, we are measuring the intelligence so we just see the norms according to age, according to education level, according to even areas also. So on the
Right.
basis of that test.
Right, so you are saying the right thing. So norms are basically, suppose I want to measure the intelligence of 10-year-old child, right? So how you will get to know the person, the child has normal range of IQ? How you will get to know? When you will compare. So when you are developing any test, right? When you are developing any test, so that test you can say that test we have to conduct on certain sample. There are like different people, different children of 10-year-old from different background, different socio-economic background, different geographical. So we have to collect the data of these students, right, children, and then we can create norms. So suppose now you are doing this particular person's child IQ, and then what IQ you will get, whatever IQ you will get, suppose you get 100, right? You are getting IQ of 100. So when you are getting the IQ of 100, so you will compare that thing with that norm table, that norm you have created from this sample. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Because otherwise how you will get to know the child is having average IQ or not. So whenever you will see any test, you will get the norms with that also.
So, sir, this will depend on the geography and the background and everything what you have stated just now. So, right now, अगर इंडिया में अगर किसी का IQ टेस्ट करना है तो मिसिक करेंगे, तो उसके बेसिस पे ही उसका जो जनरलाइज रहेगा.
Right, right. You said it right, but the thing, because it is not India, it is about different kind of populations. Suppose I am in Delhi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are in say you are in Rajasthan or Gujarat or Maharashtra, something like that, right? So every place has their own cultural background, educational background. Even in Delhi also, there are public school, there are private schools. So then the exposure of private school students and the public school students, and exposure of the person who is in Gujarat in a remote area or in some other. So these are the limitations, because they are not getting exposure to different like similar kind of environment, right? So it doesn't mean उनका IQ कम है. Suppose you are asking a child, like अगर आपने मिसिक किया है या कुछ किया है, तो उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि दिल्ली टू मुंबई और दिल्ली टू कोलकाता, what is the क्या कहते हैं distance. So the child who is in like in remote area, जो कभी ट्रेवल नहीं करता है या वहाँ पे लोग ज्यादा ट्रेवल नहीं करते हैं, they remain there and they do their like businesses and all, so they will not get to know, but it doesn't mean उनका IQ कम है. So इंडिया में ये प्रॉब्लम ही सबसे बड़ा यही है, because we have so wide geographical area,
Diversity.
we have so much like cultural differences even in at same places. So that is why there is a lot of problem of tests. So MISIC, like if you will do MISIC on children, on like these children who are like well exposed, they will give you the good higher results, right? And when you are doing the same test on a on a population that is not that much exposed, they are like getting their education in government schools, which are not very well in a remote places, so they will not respond to like that test equally. So that we have to check. Similarly, WISC, Western Intelligence Scale for children. So in that case also, if we see क्या होता है कि वहां पे भी आप अगर देखेंगे तो WISC is meant for only English speaking populations, not for Hindi speaking students. So these are the limitations. So norms किस पे develop किए गए हैं, that is very important. In that context, I'm talking about that. And if you have any question, you can ask. So next thing is already scope क्या है? Like suppose there are something is like that जहाँ पे हम आप case history देते, case study करते हैं, है ना? So that is यानी single case आप ले रहे हैं एक individual, और ये हम वहाँ पे करते हैं usually जहाँ पे like we don't have that much sample. Suppose there are some rare disease, so you cannot do the research on sample because you will not, because there are disorders that happens in like in 1 lakh there will be one person having that kind of problem, disorder or any other characteristics you can say. So you cannot take a large sample of that, so you do case study in that case. And other purposes, when you want to study a single case in detail, then you take case study method. And then if there are a lot of like cases, and then you will take samples like 100, 250, 30, that kind of sample we take. And then you can say benefit of that is you can generalize that thing to the normal population. So what is generalization? ये लिखा हुआ है, generalize कर सकते हैं anyone, because these are the basic things. ये clear होगा, then आगे मेरे लिए easy होगा आप पढ़ाना, क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है we are not that much interested in stat, तो BA में हम उतना अच्छे से नहीं करते हैं. So that is why I'm asking these basic questions, so वो हम clear करते हुए चले. So what is generalization? Anyone?
So it is something like we find a common response जो हम एक ग्रुप को लेके उसको ये करते हैं कि अभी यही सबका रिस्पॉन्स होगा. सपोज A for apple है तो अपन
no, yours like बहुत पास में है, लेकिन ना. Anyone else?
So
Yes, sir. Generalization means sir कि अगर कोई एक चीज का रिजल्ट आया, if we find something result, we can apply the whole population.
correct.
Right. श्रीजीत, आप कुछ बोल रहे थे?
Yeah, sir, I'm telling the same thing. Commonalization, I mean, make it a common thing.
Right. ठीक है. Right. So no, it is like let me explain it. So it is like that. You sample तो आप सब लोग जानते हैं, है ना? Sample जैसे word in itself, and we'll talk about in later classes. So suppose you have taken these 100 people, right? 1,000 person you have taken. Let's take an example, because these days we are more talking about elections and all, because 2024 is coming, right? So suppose these news channel survey, what they do is, suppose there is an election in in any state, है ना? Let's say right now in MP, right? Madhya Pradesh, right? So, and before that there was in Karnataka. So there are, like, suppose 50 lakh people are living there, right? So what they have done is these researcher who are doing the survey, they have taken people from these places, other places. Suppose that from 50,000, this 50,000 we call population, right? And they have taken 5,000 people, selected 5,000 people from these 50,000 people as a sample. So we call it sample. This is population and this is sample, right? And on this sample, they asked some questions related to elections. What will be the result? Whom you will like vote and all. And they found that BJP, Congress, and others, suppose they will get X number, they will get Y number, they will get N number of seats, right? And when they got the result, they are saying that this population now they have done the research with these only 5,000 people, and now they say that this people of MP, like 50 lakh people of MP, they say that BJP, Congress, and others, they will get this much seats. So what they have done, they have taken out some sample and they have taken some like answers, and they found some reserve, and now this process from is called generalization. Okay? On the basis of these 5,000 people, what the result we are getting, we are generalizing that result to these 50 lakh people. Clear? So this process is called as generalization, because you cannot take 50 lakh people, because it takes lot of time, it will take lot of money, and that is not required. So they take sample, and from sample they get result, and that result they can generalize to that population. So the idea is to complete that research in a certain time frame with certain limited resources, and these and there are, and when you are generalizing this, there are some chances of error also that we'll talk about in these things instead. So error also. So what happened is these 50, and we say on that basis, we say that these 50 lakh people are like saying this thing. So that is generalization. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
है ना? So समझ में आ गया क्या होता है generalization? Everyone? Any question? I only one or two people are asking questions, so you are free to ask any question, anybody, because whenever you will ask, we will get more clarity, right? So we'll try to explain. So that is the sample and generalization, and that is why bigger the sample, better the result. ये भी होता है.
सर एक रिक्वेस्ट है सर कि
हाँ.
आपके पीपीटी या जो भी मटेरियल है सर साइड बाय साइड आप भेजते रहेंगे क्या
हाँ मैं भेजूंगा मैं बोला अभी आपने
ग्रुप पे ही
बोला
सर
मेरे को,
ठीक है
है ना? मैंने बोला अभी
ठीक
सभी को बोला, आप शायद थे नहीं, सो आई
अच्छा हाँ मैं लेट ज्वाइन किया था
हाँ मैं कुछ नोट्स
ठीक है,
भेजूंगा,
thank
क्योंकि
you, sir.
इसमें बहुत सारा डिटेल नहीं मिलेगा, इससे पीपीटी में लिमिटेड रहता है. देन मोड ऑफ इंक्वायरी, एज वी हैव डिस्कस, observational study, where you only observe without changing anything, like something is happening, like election is happening, you are just going, you are just asking questions, you are not doing any intervention. You are not doing like you will educate some people and then you will ask कि आप किसको वोट करोगे, आप गवर्नमेंट की अच्छी बातें बताओगे, and then अपोजिशन की अच्छी बातें बताओगे, and then you are doing some that survey. That you are not doing. You are just asking question. You are just observing. That is observational research. We call it disruptive or non-experimental research also. And in intervention में क्या करते हैं? You intervene. Suppose you have taken the 10 patients of the patient of depression or anxiety, and you are giving CBT to them, and you want that you want to see that is there any changes in them, any improvement in them, that is intervention, because you are trying to change the condition of the person, you are intervening in that condition, so we call it intervention studies, right? So हम उसमें intervention देते हैं, that is the other way. Then method quantitative हो सकता है, qualitative हो सकता है. क्वांटिटिव का मतलब मैंने कल समझा दिया था, जहां पे आप मेजर कर सकते हैं, नंबर्स में चीजें आएंगी, है ना, कितना टाइम लगा, क्या कितना स्कोर आया. अगर आपने जैसे आपने IQ असेसमेंट अगर किए होंगे तो उसमें स्कोर आता है, तो दैट इज क्वालिटेटिव थिंग. क्वालिटेटिव जैसे आपका प्रोजेक्टिव टेस्ट होते हैं, TAT एंड रोसाप, वहां पे आपको नंबर्स नहीं मिलते. यू एनालाइज द थिंग, यू एनालाइज द स्कोर्स, सॉरी नॉट द स्कोर्स, द थीम बेसिकली. कि अगर TAT की अगर हम बात करें, so what the person is saying, what they have written, what kind of language they have used, what kind of results you are getting, what are the so these are the things that is qualitative, or we call them qualitative, right? So you ask open-ended questions. I'm not going in the detail of what is open-ended question. I am assuming that you know, and if it will come later on, I will discuss it. And then that is flexible also, qualitative. Suppose you are doing some research on some new thing. Just suppose you want to know that what is the different concepts or psychological concepts in Bhagavad Gita. So, but there is no test for that. So you try to ask some questions from people who are expert in that. So that kind of research is qualitative. And then after speaking to them and taking notes of those things, and then you find out some variables and all, and then you go for the quantitative, or you develop some other things. That is qualitative test. Okay? Clear? Any question?
Sir.
Feel free to ask anything related to the topic. And then ideology, and then जैसे मैंने बोला कि objective and subjective, the thing will be objective or subjective हो सकता है. अब ये एक आप बोल सकते हैं continuum है. Then the positivist क्या बोलते हैं? Make and share observation, identify problems, solve them without disagreement about the nature of the meaning of the reality. According to there is one universal truth, the paradigm is responsible to current understanding of life, the universe, and almost everything. There is one truth, and that we are trying to find out, that is positive. Post-structuralist view people as subject of discourse, and although here is subjectivity of the research is emphasized, the researcher attempt to achieve objectivity. So we say that there is subjectivity, and we try to achieve you can say objectivity in that. So that is what post-structuralists. And the interpretivist is like they try to interpret the understanding of the participant. The researcher interpretation of the self-understanding of participants. लोग क्या कह रहे हैं, उसका मीनिंग क्या हुआ है. So that is more subjective in nature अगर आप देखें, because you are taking the, like in TAT अगर हम बात करें, so you are taking the stories and you are interpreting them. तो subjectivity का chances ज्यादा है, right? So that is subjectivity. And positivist क्या बोलते हैं कि that is kind of जो आपका empirical research की जो हम बात करते हैं, वो होता है जो हम लोग data collect करते हैं, statistics we are using, that is positive. And post-structuralist means that is, you can say, the combination of these both the things. They take subjectivity and they try to maintain the objectivity. Right? So suppose you are like dealing with some depressive patient, so they have their own subjective experiences, and in that you try to find out what kind of symptoms they have based on DSM or ICD. So that is like you're taking the subjectivity and you are converting it into some scale. You try to find out what kind of problem the person is having. Clear? Politics, neutral like most researchers aim to be politically neutral or impartial by presenting all sides of argument. Partisan is sometimes the researcher is overtly partisan or advisorial, having hidden agendas and having biased reporting. राइट सो अब एग्जाम्पल क्या बोलते हैं यूजुअली रिसर्च को न्यूट्रल होना चाहिए राइट कैसा होना चाहिए न्यूट्रल सपोज यू आर डूइंग सम स्टडी एंड यू ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट कि what is the relationship between intelligence and the performance of the individual but what happens is and like there is you don't find any result and because you thought that is why we make hypothesis because you thought that there will be some relationship. Suppose you thought that because of emotional disturbances, people are not able to perform like how they have to perform. So now you are biased. You try to find out the emotional things in the person, the emotional disturbances in that person or people, right? So kya hoga? You are biased now. So you will try to look those things only. So that you will not be neutral. So the idea is in research, you have to be neutral. You don't know what will happen in the research. You are doing the research, you are taking the data, you are analyzing that, what result will come, you will report it. It will support your topic or it will not support your hypothesis. Topic means hypothesis because you have created hypothesis based on your topics. So that is being neutral, impartial. Whatever will come, you will report. That is you as a like remaining objective, not involving your subjectiveness. Okay? So that is being neutral. Ab partial hona ka matlab kya hota hai? Partial means, suppose I will give you an example of China. We all know. So what they do is they don't release any information. मतलब जो भी उनके country में हो रहा है, whatever is happening there, you won't get any information about that until unless they don't want. Right? So that is being partial. They block everything. They don't use YouTube. They don't use like Twitter or any other thing. I'm talking about in general things. So that aap na kare. Similarly, when the Ukraine and Russia war is happening, so all the Western media, like they are reporting negative side of the Russians and the positive side of Ukraine, right? We know all these things. So they are building it, you can say, an opinion towards that thing. Similarly, agar hum dekhen, these are few examples that I am telling you that is politically motivated. And similarly, when America attacked Iraq, they are just portraying that they are making chemical weapons and all those, and they created everything and they attacked. And now when after many years the reports came out that CNN and BBC, they were involved and they have created this thing. So they just being partial. They are not reporting the right things. So similarly in research, we should be neutral, not because as a researcher, we all have our own biases and things, so that we have to take care. Clear? Then utility. No, you are asking something?
Oh, I was saying yes, it's clear.
Okay. And then it is coming to utility. Utility is what is the use? A pure basic theoretical and academic project, the aim is to understand the cause and mechanism of the phenomena. Pure is sometimes lab-based, lacking naturalness. अब यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम आता है. एक तो प्योर रिसर्च की हम बात करें. प्योर रिसर्च क्या है? Suppose you want to study. You want to study, again I am carrying forward that example only. You want to study the students' intelligence, and what you have done is आपने कुछ students को लिया and you brought them to your lab or you're off clinic and you assessed them and you try and you find out that कि इनका IQ इतना है, ठीक है? So for example, I'm telling you, usually we do like that also. That is a lab assessment you can see, है ना? Because you are doing everything in a controlled environment. And other thing is, the person is that the same children with similar IQ, suppose there are 5 students and they had 100 IQ. And when they go into the school and these 5 children, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, they are performing differently in class, right? So though they have the similar IQ, but their family conditions, their emotional conditions, their cultural conditions are different. Their motivations are different. So they are not performing according to their IQ. Someone is performing more, someone is performing less than their IQ. So what it indicates is and because they have to perform in natural environment. And you have tested them in the lab. In a controlled environment, lab means. So, this is, I want to explain that when you are doing some research in a lab, how much that will be applicable in the real environment is a question mark.
So again, here the question of validity and reliability will come, sir.
No, it is not a reliability validity. Reliability and validity is related to a specific test, intelligence test. It is related to generalizability. कि जो रिसर्च हम लैब में कर रहे हैं क्या वो हम जनरलाइज कर सकते हैं रियल कंडीशंस में?
तो इसमें वैलिडिटी क्यों नहीं आएगा सर? जो डेफिनेटली वो वैलिड है, जो टेस्ट वो कर रहे हैं उन लोग,
हाँ,
जैसे IQ टेस्ट है वो वैलिड है.
That is valid. That is assessing the IQ. That is what it was meant to be. है ना? It was meant to assess the IQ. It is assessing the IQ. तो validity is right. लेकिन अब ये सैंपल ये जिसपे हमने किया, इसको क्या हम रियल लाइफ में जनरलाइज कर सकते हैं?
तो वो रिलायबिलिटी का क्वेश्चन आ गया ना यहाँ पर?
नहीं आया ना. वैलिडिटी का मतलब तो यही हुआ ना कि जो असेस करना चाहते थे, IQ असेस किया 100 है, 100 ही था, 100 ही हम चाहते, हमें पता है सबका जो वैलिड था टेस्ट 100 ही आया उसका IQ, है ना? लेकिन कंडीशन चेंज हो गई अब यहाँ पे.
Condition can also influence the reliability of the test, right?
Not the reliability of the test, the result of the test.
Sorry, result of the test, yes.
So conditions cannot affect the reliability, they will affect the results. Suppose आप कोई बुक पढ़ रहे हैं एक बंद कमरे में जहाँ पे कंफर्टेबल एनवायरनमेंट है और एक सड़क के ऊपर बैठ के पढ़ रहे हैं, तो दोनों में डिफरेंस आएगा ना?
करेक्ट.
लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप बुक पढ़ नहीं सकते. हाँ, ये हो सकता है कि आपका रिजल्ट वहां बेटर आएगा बंद कमरे में. when you are like in a place that is calm and quiet, you can read 10 lines in a minute, and when you are reading that book in sitting in a bus, then you can read only 5 lines because the condition is not similar. So which is related to conditions, situations, right? But it doesn't mean the like your ability is less or high in certain areas, right? So it is about the conditions, environment, context. So lab जो research होते हैं उनका ये limitation होता है कि कितना वो apply होंगे, we don't know. So we have to the applicability of that test. So utility कितना है वो हम check करेंगे, because until it is not utility is not there, there is no reason to research. Then applied in practical projects, है ना? That is field based. Suppose you have developed the CBT or any other model of therapy, and you know that this is how this will work, right? And you are very like theoretically you are very like clear with those concepts, but it will be when you are doing it on the real patients, what result you will get, you don't know. So what you do is you do that thing. Just like you can say, yesterday we talked about example of COVID vaccine, right? So that is a applied research. The COVID came in, है ना, and we don't like have any medicines related to that. At that particular time of we don't had any kind of like vaccine related to COVID to prevent. So what? Because the you can say the urgency was there, need was there, and we and everybody tries to develop the vaccine. So that is applied research, you can say, that you have taken practical work. Suppose some medicine is not working or some therapy is not working, you are trying to modify that therapy and you are trying to get good results. That is utility based applied research, right? Then action research, solving the specific problem. Suppose you are working in an organization or in a school and you try to find out what kind of problems students are facing. You are doing that research, that is action research. So, and you are trying to solve that problem, right? Evaluation research is like you are trying to take decisions. See what kind of model you should follow in a school or organization or with any situation. So that is evaluation research, because not going in detail because basic things we have covered, and now further when they will come in some other event, then we can discuss it. Research and development, you R&D, you know that how to improve anything, है ना, कि कैसे आप ज्यादा effective, ज्यादा बेहतर. तो continuous research in every organization, every hospital and organization, they have this kind of unit with they call them research and development, R&D unit. So see how you can make better medicines, better therapies, better psychological tests if we talk about psychology. तो अगर हम टाइम के बेस पे देखें तो मैंने ऑलरेडी कल डिस्कस किया हुआ था ब्रीफली, एंड तो देयर आर टू काइंड ऑफ रिसर्चेस, क्रॉस सेक्शनल एंड लॉन्गिट्यूड. तो क्रॉस सेक्शनल इज सपोज लेट मी, कल बताया है तो ब्रीफली मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि सपोज आपको 10 बच्चों का आईक्यू चेक करना है, कैसे ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम बढ़ता है, and the age range is 5 to 10 years, right? 5 years to 10 years. So there are two ways to study this according to cross. Hello, yes, no?
No, sir, I did not say anything.
Okay, your mic was on, so that is why I asked. So there are two ways to study these sample, right? Suppose there are 10 students, children you have taken, you want to study कि उनका IQ कैसे हर एक एज पे कितना आता है. सो हमारे पास क्या हो गया, 10 का सैंपल है, कोई क्वेश्चन होगा तो बीच में 10 लोगों का हमारे पास बच्चों का सैंपल है. तो क्रॉस सेक्शनल क्या करता है, और हमें 5 to 10 years में, यानी कि 5 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, इन सारे ईयर्स पे बच्चों का आईक्यू हमें चेक करना है कि कैसे डेवलप हो रहा है. जो मैं लिख रहा हूं दैट इज विजिबल टू यू ऑल, वट एवर आई एम राइटिंग?
Yes, sir.
ओके, सो इनको मुझे करना है. सो क्रॉस सेक्शनल जो रिसर्च है, व्हाट दे विल डू, they will take sample of, जैसे 10 स्टूडेंट्स का लेना, they will take the sample of 10 for 5 years, 5, 6 years, 7 year, 8 year, 9 year, 10 year. 10 बच्चे इसके लिए, 10 स्टूडेंट्स ये, 10 चिल्ड्रन ये, 10 चिल्ड्रन ये, 10 चिल्ड्रन ये, 10 ये, इन्होंने सैंपल्स ले लिया. एग्जांपल में बता रहा हूँ इन्हें टू क्लियर द कॉन्सेप्ट, एंड they have taken IQ assessment of all these children and they then compared कि 5 year का 10 year से क्या क्या डिफरेंस है, 10 year का 12 से, 7 का 5 से, all they can compare. This is cross sectional. Clear है? They have taken different cross sections of the people, इस मतलब sample. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. अब दूसरा तरीका क्या आता है, they have taken 10 students
For 5 age group, and they have
नहीं,
measured
not 5 age group.
resistance
Same
till
10
they
students of 5 year old, उन्हीं स्टूडेंट्स को उन्होंने
10 साल तक
एक
measure
साल के
किया।
बाद, हाँ, एक साल के बाद 6 ईयर पे असेस किया, फिर 7 ईयर्स पे किया, फिर 8 ईयर्स किया, सैंपल इज सिमिलर, सेम. So that is longitudinal. So it will take, how much time it will take? 5 to 10 years. यानी कि 5 years में लिया जाए तो 5 years time they will take, and this study can be done in 1 year only or in 6 months only. So that is the difference between, and there are plus and minuses of both the things. ठीक है, so वो रहते हैं दोनों में, उनके प्लस माइनस होते हैं, इसमें टाइम कम लगता है, यहाँ पे रिलायबिलिटी ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है आपके रिसर्च की. So that is, so is it clear, longitudinal and cross sectional?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Then purpose of the research, you are exploring some new area, that is explorative, exploratory research, जिसमें ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं हुआ है, nobody knows what it is, so we call it exploratory research. Then it's descriptive research, you are just describing any phenomena, what is happening, what kind of relationship like is that there, so that is descriptive, you are just describing it, right? कि कैसे हो रहा है, क्या, तो that kind of thing is descriptive
Sir,
research.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, exploratory research जब भी करते हैं, that time we do intervene or we do not, or we just say it in a social standing, जैसे वो bystander effect है. So somebody else will help, so they just describe it कैसे हुआ वो
No,
कैसे.
exploratory जैसा word से आप समझ रहे हैं, what is exploratory is to explore. Suppose you want to study the you want to study what is the effect of spirituality on mental health, right? And no one has done any research on that, right? So you will just go to you will find the people who are spiritual, they are practice some spiritual practices they do. You go there and you ask some question, because there is no research on that, so there is no tool, there is nothing is there. So you just go and ask questions, interview them, basically open-ended questions. And when you take the interview of like 10, 15, 20, 100, whatever sample is there, and you try to find out some common theme in that is exploratory research, because you don't know, you are just exploring the area to understand. So that is exploratory research. And suppose in that same thing, like you have lot of tests and everything, like people have done the research and everything in that area. So what will happen? Like you already have established tests, so you will use that. That is not exploratory. Even the exploratory research is basically done when you don't have any idea about that topic. Try to find out some common things, how this कैसे होता है, क्या चीज है, वो उसको समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. ठीक है, तो एड्रेस द क्वेश्चन ऑफ व्हाट. क्लियर है अब ये?
Yes.
Okay. And then descriptive, you try to involve describing and detailing the social setting or relationships. Descriptive research focuses on how and who questions. कि कोई चीज कैसे हो रही है, अगर लोग सर्टेन तरीके से बिहेव कर रहे हैं तो कैसे कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं, है ना? तो दैट इज डिस्क्रिप्टिव, यू आर डिस्क्राइबिंग द फिनोमेना. यहाँ आप उस फिनोमेना को समझ रहे हैं, बिकॉज यू डोंट नो. जब आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया, देन यू आर डिस्क्राइबिंग इट कि क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. सो एक्सप्लेनेशन इज
Descriptive is more of observational, right, sir?
हाँ, डिस्क्राइबिंग क्या हो रहा है, किस तरह से हो रहा है, दैट. एंड एक्सप्लेनेशन इज दैट इज व्हाई, क्यों हो रहा है, कि पीपल डू these things, people like जो वी कैन से जैसे डिप्रेशन हो रहा है, तो डिप्रेशन में डिफरेंसेस आ रहे हैं. देयर आर रिसर्चेस, देयर इज ए जेंडर डिफरेंस कि फीमेल्स लाइक जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि जो फीमेल्स हैं उनमें ज्यादा डिप्रेशन होने के चांसेस हैं, जो रिसर्चेस इंडिकेट करती हैं कि उनको ज्यादा डिप्रेशन इन कंपैरिजन टू मेल. एंड द सिम्टम्स दे शो are different, more like if there is a man who is severely depressed, and there is a female who is also like severely depressed, so जो ज्यादा visible symptoms होंगे वो female के होंगे, male because males में उतने नहीं होंगे because of cultural differences. The reason is males are told that you don't express your emotions. Now the things are changing. They are trained in culturally, in most of the culture, they are trained to suppress the emotions. Even if the child is crying, we say कि क्यों रो रहा है, लड़कियों की तरह क्यों रोता है. So that is the mindset we have. So because of that, even if they are depressed, they are not showing that, they are not crying, but it is more acceptable for women to cry, right? So that is, so we try to find out what the why question. So that is explanation why something is happening. That is explanation. So that is the purpose of the research. So exploratory हो सकता है, descriptive हो सकता है, and then explanation हो सकता है कि क्यों कोई चीज हो रही है. Then some other thing, historical research, यानी whatever is already happened, that is in record. Suppose you want to study the people who have created a lot of like problems in the past, like people, or what kind of personality they had. So you want to try to assess that. Like suppose you want to study the personality of Hitler and Stalin, or these kind of people like who have like involved in a lot of you can say massacre or whatever you want to say. So उसमें involved थे वो लोग. So उनकी personalities कैसी थी? और you want to study जो great leaders हैं world के, उनकी personalities कैसी होती रही हैं. So you will go for the like biographies and their behavior, their recorded videos, all those things. So that kind of research is called historical research. They're the things that has already happened, and so you want to study those things. So that is historical. Survey research, just like I have like already told you, for election purposes and all that we do, that is survey research. Correlation research, you want to like find out, will take it in detail. You want to in detail in other lectures, but that is kind of if two things are happening, so why these two things are happening together? Like
So, sir, how do we, interpret that, the historical research was valid or not? Because वो तो जो भी है वो तो लिखा हुआ ही है.
So we do researches like what you learn from history, that kind of thing. That research we do. Like suppose what has happened. So, yesterday I have given an example to you. Suppose you want to study suppose there was like flood in the Kedarnath 5-10 years ago. So how that impacted the person's mental health, the family's mental health, whose family member has like washed away in that incident. So how they are coping up right now. You want to study those, that thing has already happened and the impact is still there. So you want to study that thing. So how the like these events, natural disasters, how they affect the individual, you want to study to that. You study that thing that will help you to understand further if something happens to manage them well, right?
So sir, ये history में नहीं हुआ था ना. Means see, if somebody अगर किसी का personality जानना है जैसे कि historical research में, so we have to go by the books. जो लिखा है वो ही लिखा हुआ है, right? उसको तो change
So
नहीं.
you will not take only one book. You will take their actions. You will take different autobiographies, different decisions the person has taken. All those things you will not rely on only one record.
Yeah, sir, that is understandable. So now, when we talk about किसका लेते हैं? अच्छा, नेहरू का ले लो. नेहरू जी के बारे में कोई ये अलग बोल रहा है, because I have seen there are 2 books on Nehru. Okay, one उसमें और suppose जो easy figure है वो गांधी जी. अगर वो गांधी जी के बारे में कोई बोलता है वो एकदम अच्छा है, वो एकदम उसने ऐसा ऐसा किया था, ओके. और दूसरा बोलता है उन्होंने साइन क्यों किया वो भगत सिंह को जेल फांसी देने के लिए. तो नाउ व्हेन आई रेड दिस 2 बुक्स, उसमें तो मुझे कुछ समझा ही नहीं कि क्या.
You are not, because that will be personal opinion. So what you will go for, you will see the records, you will try to access क्या गांधी जी ने ऐसा लेटर लिखा था? If that letter is there, where that letter is, right? So you will try to access. It is not a simple task कि आपने किसी का ओपिनियन ये हो गया, आपने YouTube पे कुछ देखा, उसके बेस पे अपना ओपिनियन बना लिया. That is not research. Research is like you will find out कि उस टाइम पे क्या थे, क्या वो डेटा एक्सेस करने मुझे मिल सकता है, या मैं डायरेक्टली भगत सिंह के जो लोग हैं, फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं, जो उनके आज की डेट में अवेलेबल है, उनसे क्या मैं बात कर सकता हूँ. That is the primary sources that you will take. You will not only go by YouTube channels or something like that, or books. Only books. Yes, you will read book. If that book is there, क्या बुक में कुछ रेफरेंसेस दिए हैं कि कहां से वो इंफॉर्मेशन उन्होंने उठाई? ऐसे तो कोई भी कुछ भी लिख देगा. So that is what we need, right? So we go with the facts, not with the opinions. Understand that thing. Research is about the facts. We try to find out the fact. You are not writing any opinion, not researching on that, right?
Yes.
So understand that. So survey research, I already told you. Correlation research, like suppose क्या IQ बढ़ रहा है तो performance भी बढ़ रही है, that is correlation. या IQ घट रहा है तो क्या performance भी कम हो रही है, क्या इसमें कुछ relationship है? You are just seeking the information, is there any relationship or not? That is correlation. Experimental research, you are trying to find out the cause. If IQ is increasing increasing the achievement, so why that is there? So you want to क्यों हो रहा है? The question why is always related to experimental research. You are doing the research. If you are saying कि like IQ जो है correlation में क्या बता रहा है कि there is relationship between IQ and achievement. क्यों है? We don't know. यहाँ पे हम experimental research में we try to find out the cause and effect relationship कि क्यों हो रहा है. IQ अगर ज्यादा है तो क्यों परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी आ रही है उसकी. So that is what we try to find out. That is experimental research, right?
Yes, sir.
है ना? So these are the things. Qualitative, quantitative research का अभी biosocial questions, sample, quantitative, intervention, objectivity already we have discussed, है ना? So any question from anyone? So that is what we have. Now I think we are at least basics are clear. What we are going to talk about in further sessions, we will talk about these things, research and different topics. कि क्या क्या टॉपिक्स हम लोग लेते हैं, क्या होता है, कैसे होता है, all this is your syllabus. So various method of ascertain knowledge, scientific method. Am I right? This is the syllabus. Various method to ascertain knowledge, scientific method. It is feature, problem in measurement in behavioral sciences, level of measurement and psychological variable, nominal, ordinal, internal rate, है ना? ये सारा हम टेस्ट कंस्ट्रक्शन जो हम बात कर रहे थे, है ना, मेथड, स्टेबिलिटी, तो ये अब हम एक एक टॉपिक उठाएंगे और एक एक क्लास में करेंगे. So we'll see you tomorrow at the same time, right? If you have any question, you can ask me.
Yes, sir.
Any question?
No questions from him. Thank you.